Many people have made a lot of money with crypto ETFs. Even if we just look at this chart, which shows the Bitcoin spot ETF inflows, we can see that the inflows have mostly kept Bitcoin's price stable over the last few months and even the last year or so. So this is very clear proof that ETFs are a big price driver. They're a big reason why. It's not just Bitcoin after all, right? It's also Ethereum. It was clear that Ethereum's ETFs didn't really start to pick up until July, when the price of Ethereum started to go crazy. Also, we can see that these were some of the busiest times for Ethereum ETFs, which helped the price rise back to over $4,800, setting a new all-time high on the chart. The main thing we're thinking about is what an old coin spot ETF would look like, and we're not just talking about one spot ETF. Remember that when we look at these ETFs, there are a lot of them that are linked to these assets. You know, Bitcoin and Ethereum both have a huge number of ETFs linked to them. So when we think about old coins, we're not just thinking, oh, let's check out how BlackRock has done with his ETF. There won't be just one. It will be a mix of all of them, plus how crazy the flows are for some old coins. There's no doubt that you already understand what I mean. Yes, we are talking about XRP. We're going to talk about XRP's ETFs. We're going over what might happen with XRP. We need to use common sense, right? The third biggest cryptocurrency, and besides Bitcoin, the best cryptocurrency, right? Also, a lot of people say, oh, well, Ethereum has been very strong, and I think it's been stronger than XRP. First, I'm not just talking about marketplace. That's not what I mean when I talk about the value of XRP compared to Ethereum or something. You get what I mean by resilience, right? We stayed in the top 10 even though XRP had a terrible year in 2021. Really think about that, okay? XRP stayed in the top 10 even though it was being sued and had been taken off of all big exchanges. It was the worst place for a crypto project ever. We need to take care of that issue. For starters, it shows how sure people who own XRP are. Second, how strong the XRP group is. Also, we need to talk about the fact that XRP is a totally different altcoin. I've said this before and I will say it again. In this market, XRP isn't like other coins. But this is a whole different animal. Let's talk about a few other things too. First, let's quickly look at what Bradley Duke wrote over on X. All new Bitcoin production is being taken up by ETFs coming into the US. There's no doubt that Bitcoin buyers are more optimistic. Yes, this will have a big effect on Bitcoin when we look at the amount of money coming into ETFs and the amount of Bitcoin that is available. It will always have an effect on Bitcoin or even Ethereum. I mean, technically, it looks like the supply for both Bitcoin and Ethereum is starting to drop a lot on these markets because of all the buyers from ETFs, Tom Lee's company, and other businesses. A lot of people will say that this can't happen to all coins because there won't be enough demand. I would say that this is a very bad way to think about things. I really believe that the supply will drop a lot for the first old coin to be approved as a spot ETF. Let's think about that some more by looking at the SEC update from the 8th of this month. That was when the SEC approved listing guidelines for mainstream crypto ETFs. As a result of the SEC's suggested generic listing standards, crypto ETF approvals could be cut from 240 days to just 60 to 75 days, which would make the door open for all coin funds. As we patiently wait for a major update on this, we know that if the SEC speeds up this process, all of these old coin ETFs that we have been keeping an eye on and waiting for approval will go through the faster process much faster, and we will see them trading live very quickly. Yes, we're still looking at XRP because I think it's the best. If the ETFs come out first, I really believe that XRP should have the upper hand. It's not clear. I mean, Solana is also up there for sure. We'll have to wait and see, but I really believe that XRP should have been the first one in the door. We don't know for sure though. But let me say this, okay? There are a huge number of ETFs waiting to be approved. This structure is being worked on by the SEC. That's what I'm saying now. They seem to already know that this was going to be important. Just the fact that this is being worked on right now makes me think that it will be ready in about 2 months. At that point, we could already see the first old coin ETF moving in real time. It wouldn't surprise me in the least. On top of all that, we have this from Bitwise's Matt Hogan. What changes will happen in the crypto space because of general listing standards? So let's look at what happened. The number of ETF launches increased from 117 per year to 370 per year after the SEC passed the ETF rule in late 2019. This rule set general listing standards for traditional ETFs. If generic listing rules come to crypto this fall, you can expect the same kind of growth. That's what I mean, right? This would make it possible for crypto ETFs to start running in the US. Still, we're not there yet, but 117 per year to 370 is crazy when we think about what happened in the old space. But you do know about crypto, right? How many old coin projects really want an ETF? Or let me say that again. There are a lot of asset management firms that want an ETF for Dogecoin, Sui, Solana, Avalanche, this old coin, that old coin, this project, that project. Let's be honest. People are really excited about old coin ETFs right now. So I do believe that the effect will be very big if the general listing standards for crypto ETFs become public. This is when ETFs will go down in value. Along with this, keep in mind that XRP is still linked to 12 companies and 18 different ETFs. Thank you very much, XRP Crow. We are still looking, we're really paying attention to this. The 12th stock on this list is Rex Shares from Osprey Funds. They are in charge of $8 billion in assets. Okay, this ETF will start trading this week. This will be the first legal US ETF that lets investors buy and sell XRP on the spot market. This is very strong, and we also have the news from Rex here. This week, the Rex Osprey XRP ETF XRPR will be released. It'll be the first US ETF that lets buyers buy and sell the third largest cryptocurrency by market cap. Pay close attention to and keep an eye on this ETF because it will give any provider that has been waiting the going ahead. BlackRock, right? Because of this, they will have a lot of information to help them decide if they should apply for an XRP ETF. I think this is going to be a very important moment again. I also think the demand side of XRP is very strong because this is 80% spot, right?